Senator from Indiana.
Come here today. We're going to vote later this afternoon on something else that involves overreach of the federal government. You know, I've witnessed it a lot. I've been here just a little over 4 years. I jump in. I come from Main Street America when it just doesn't make sense. The last time I was engaged in this was at the tail end of the COVID saga when a rule from the Biden administration was going to force a vaccination on all Americans working if you work for a company down to 100 employees. That's a lot of people. We weighed in on that. It was bipartisan. Supreme Court jumped in a week and a half or two later and thank goodness said enough is enough there. Here we're talking about something you hear the acronym ESG, Environment, Social, and Governance. In a nutshell, that just means now when we're looking at hard-earned money that you save, your retirement, let me tell you how much it's going to impact. $11.7 trillion, 152 million Americans. And I really am okay with what you want to invest in as long as it's going to push the best rate of return. Now, over the long run, if something changes, that's different. But currently, this rule now allows the criterion of using those ESG goals, which would be simplified, being able to push a certain ideology, a certain point of view into how retirement earnings are invested. You got to remember, this is a fiduciary thing. Most people, when they give money to their financial advisor, their broker, they would think that it's going to get the best return. Bloomberg tracked it. If you would actually invest according to ideology over the last few years, it would have been the difference between an 8.9% return and a 6.3% return. Imagine trying to explain that in a way where someone trusted that you would be doing the best thing with their hard-earned money to get the best financial return. That is nearly a 30% cut in what you would have had otherwise. I got to believe everybody would be thoroughly upset with that. It's a step too far. It's injecting the federal government in how it's enterprised over the last couple years into many different arenas. I think it's a wake-up call. We're going to vote on this later this afternoon. Everyone will be able to, I think, hopefully vote in a way that they would tell their constituents would make sense, give me the best rate of return. Figure out all this other stuff here on the legislative floor, but don't make it impact hard-earned retirement funds. The House just last night passed this in a bipartisan way. Hopefully, we will do the same thing later this afternoon. It makes sense to Hoosiers. It makes sense to Americans. Madam President, I yield the floor.